We're so glad that you've joined us for this online devotional today. If you've already looked at your reading plan and done your reading for this morning, you know that we're covering Psalms 74 and 75 today. But my devotional is actually going to be over Psalm 73, what we read yesterday, because there was no way I could do this devotional without discussing it. It is one of my favorite Psalms. I can completely understand where the psalmist is coming from. It is a gut level, honest psalm about the struggles that he's feeling and just the weight of the world on him. And I can completely relate to that. With having dealt with depression and anxiety myself, I completely feel where the psalmist is coming from. So we start reading in Psalm 73. We see that he starts out by declaring what he knows to be true. This is someone that knows that God is good. He knows that. And he goes immediately into talking about how he's struggling inside, even knowing that God is good. He says, "But as for me, I almost lost my footing. My feet were slipping and I was almost gone." And then he goes into the following verses talking about how he envied the proud and how it doesn't seem like they had trouble and just how it seems like they're prospering. And it says, what does God know, they ask? Does the Most High even know what's happening? Like, he's obviously having a lot of inner turmoil. Verse 13, he says, "Did I keep my heart pure for nothing? Did I keep myself innocent for no reason? I get nothing but trouble all day long. Every morning brings me pain." I don't know about you. I don't know if you've ever been in a place where you're feeling overwhelmed and despondent or depressed, but this is where the psalmist is. Verse 21, he says, "Then I realized that my heart was bitter, and I was all torn up inside. I was so foolish and ignorant. I must have seemed like a senseless animal to you. Yet," in verse 23, "I still belong to you, and you hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, leading me to a glorious destiny. Whom have in heaven but you? I desire you more than anything on earth. My heart may fail, and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever." So he starts and he ends with truth. He knows that God is good. He knows that he belongs to God and God will be there with him no matter what, and he will be his forever. He knows that. But in between, he is completely honest with God about how he's feeling, everything that he's struggling with. He's pouring his heart out to God and telling him. He ends with saying he knows. He knows that he's his and he's going to do what's right. But he's honest in between, and that's exactly the prayers that we need to be praying to God. We need to be completely honest with him, but we don't need to stay in that despair. We need to make sure that we're anchoring it in the truth. Start with what you know to be true and end with what you know to be true. In Desiring God, John Piper covers this psalm, and he relates it to Jesus being in the Garden of Gethsemane and being troubled, and how Jesus was sinless. He had no sin, but he did feel troubled. And he talks about what he did when he felt that trouble. It says, number 1, Jesus chose some close friends to be with him. It says, "And taking with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, he began to be sorrowful and troubled. So he didn't withdraw. He took the inner ring, his most precious and trusted friends, and he pulled them aside with him." Number 2, he opened his soul to them. Verse 38 says, "Then he said to them, 'My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. I can imagine their mouths dropped open, their king confessing his weakness.'" He opened his soul to his closest disciples. Number 3, it says he asked for their help in spiritual warfare. Verse 38 on the second half says, "Remain here and watch with me." Another text says, "Pray," and another says, "Don't let yourself come in temptation. Stay here and fight with me." Fight with me. Isn't that amazing? Number 4, he says, he poured out his heart to the Father in prayer. Verse 39, it says, "My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me." It's just fine to pray that the bombshell that has just dropped into your life be taken away. That's just right. Whatever it is that Satan fires at you, it's just fine to say, "Take it away, Father. You're stronger than he is." Number 5, it says, "But finally, he rested his soul in the sovereign wisdom of God." The second half of the verse of 39 says, "Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou will." And this Jesus example for us is exactly what we should do. When we're feeling depressed and we're feeling down, this is what we need to do as well. We need to find trusted friends. Who do you have in your life that you can be that honest with? Gut level honest about all of your fears, all of your anxieties, how deeply you're feeling depressed or overwhelmed. Who can you talk to? Number two, open your soul to them. Be completely honest. Don't hold back. Obviously, you don't want to be that level of honest with everyone, but there should be at least one person in your life that you can be that honest with. Number three, ask for them to fight with you. This is spiritual warfare that we're fighting. Yes, there are physical elements of it. This could be a medical condition that you need to get help with, but there is always a spiritual element to it. So ask your friends to fight with you. Number four, pour out your soul to the Father. Be honest with Him. You don't have to hide anything from Him. He already knows, and He wants you to come to Him in honesty and in truth. Even when you're feeling your worst, He wants you to be completely honest with Him. And number five, rest in the sovereignty of His wisdom and come to Him and say, God, I'm not strong enough. Take this away from me. You are stronger than I am, and you are stronger than my enemy. And my heart and my portion is yours forever. If you don't have someone that you can talk to this level of honesty, I want you to know that the staff and the elders are always here to talk to you. You can call us, you can email us. Even though we can't meet in person right now, we would love to, FaceTime with you or do a Zoom call or a phone call. You need to have someone that you can talk to. You don't need to fight these things alone. We're all in this together. And all of the things that are happening right now are only increasing the levels of depression and anxiety and despair. And we are here to help each other. So please don't ever feel like you can't reach out to us. All of the staff and elders are here for you, and we're not going to judge you. So please feel like you can reach out to us at any time. I pray that you can stake your faith as Jesus did and as the psalmist did, and knowing that God is your strength and that He will provide for you everything that you need. God bless you, church. We're here for you. We love you. We're praying for you. We look forward to seeing you soon.